Hi and welcome to Inside This Music Box. I'm Erin and I'm a primary and high school music teacher in Sydney, Australia. Today I realised the video I had filmed was out of focus and that just annoys me too much, so I decided I would film a video that some of my teacher friends from Instagram have been asking for, and it is how I created my teacher planner using Google Sheets. Recently on my Instagram stories I got a bit excited about spreadsheets and decided to share with the people who follow me the ways that I'm hacking my planner to make it easier, more efficient, and just it was all a bit nerdy and exciting, and I was very pleasantly surprised to find out how many other teachers were like nerding out about it as well. I have been learning more and more about Google Sheets in recent months, so I thought that this would actually be the way to go. The best part about Google Sheets is you can automate a lot of things and that will save you so much time, and so I'm going to take you through all those things today. With the way in which this is automated, it means that I only have to make one change in my planner in order for it to update across every sheet that is relevant. So if the timetable changes, for example, I don't need to go in and manually change my timetable 50 times. I can actually just go in, update it on one sheet, and then it will infill into all of my weekly spreads. So I'm first going to start off with this sheet that I've created called Data for Yearly Calendar. So this is where I'm actually sourcing all of the dates for different calendars across the whole planner. I manually put in these dates. I just looked at a calendar and wrote them in. I'm sure there's probably another way I could have done it, but to be honest, that's just what I've done. It didn't take long. Watch Netflix at the same time. It's no big deal. So, for instance, my year overview calendar, which is I like seeing just to keep a bird's eye view at the year. I can type key events in this little space. So term 1 begins and say there's a special assembly. I can type in just the handful of important events that are during that month, so I can just get a bit of an overview. These dates here are being sourced from that sheet. So as you can see, this 1st of January, it's being sourced from this particular spot. So the way I did that is I press equals on that cell, and then I go to here and then I click that day and it's automatic. Once I do that once, I can just click and drag and it will apply the relevant cell to each. You can see that it goes across different letters in the alphabet up here. So that way when it comes to a new school year and the dates are all different on different days of the week, say that Sunday, I know this isn't the case, but say that Sunday was the 1st of January, I can then see I just have to update there and it automatically goes in there, sorts itself out, easy peasy. These dates also automatically infill into my yearly calendar. In Australian schools, we just operate on a normal calendar year, so that's why it's just January to December. And as you can see, these little boxes at the top where I have the date are linking to that same document. The next thing that I'll have to do at the beginning of the school year is manually either type in or copy and paste in any relevant events that are happening during the year. So the first day back, which is going to be the 27th, is going to be a staff professional learning day. So that is something that you will have to do manually. And I like having on my calendar things that are only relevant to me because we've got a really busy school and there's about 7 different things going on each day. And I don't want to look at stuff that has nothing to do with me. It's just too confusing. So I would type in all those manually. And what you'll see here, there's something I'm very proud of, is that these automatically infill to here. So you type it once, it goes across. So sometimes during the term, I like having just a term 1 calendar where I can see it all with the weeks on the side and starting on a Monday with the weekend stuff on the side. So I love that those automatically infill in the same way that it occurred before. You just have an empty cell, you click equals, go over to your calendar, press enter, Bob's your uncle. So this is what my weekly spread looks like. I have all my class periods down the side. In these boxes are the ones where I actually type what I'm planning to do in that period. And then in this side is where I go through and I write what actually happened because, lessons go astray, things change, and I need to keep up to date with where we got up to. I do often have events on the weekend for school, so it's good for me to have these boxes here. As you can see up the top here, this is where I put all of the events, and this data is obviously being collected from this same calendar cell. This is a slow process for me to do, to go and link all of these cells manually, but that will be done for you if you were to purchase my planner, if I were to sell it. That's a slow process. However, I don't have to go through my calendar and manually put in this information. And if it changes, have to go through and manually change it on all 3 calendars. It's just not worth it. So in hindsight, this should save me time. Not sure if it will, but I really like it so far. In my Term 1 calendar, the dates for each week of school are being collected from a different spot. And so if you look down here, this is my data for Term 1 schedule. So this is all my stuff for Term 1, any data I might need to source from. So if you scroll down to the bottom here, I've got data for the term calendar, which basically means that I have gone and typed in the starting date for school. So it would be the 27th of the 1st, 2020. And if you see that here, I double click on that and it turns into a little calendar which you can select and then drag down to change the remaining ones. So if I type in the 27th of the 1st, 2020, press enter, I can actually click and drag this down, and that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And another way to format it in this way, if you go up to format and number, go down to more formats, more time and date formats. This is where I've customized it just to show me the starting date. You have lots of different options, whether you want to show it a time, you want to have the day of the week, but basically all I do is go through and make sure that it has the number 5, that's all I want. I don't need to know anything else, and then it changes all of them. So do that at the beginning of the term, easy peasy, and these dates are connected to here. So when I have a new school year and the Term 1 dates are different, all I have to do is change them in here, which is a really quick little process, and then it will change them all up here so I don't have to change anything else. Also, this is really rambly. I'm trying to be concise, but it's a bit wordy trying to explain this all. The next thing I'd like to show you is how I infill the weeks and the dates into my weekly planner. All of this information up the top here is sourced from this sheet down here. So all of my weeks are sourced from here. So as you can see, they are linked to this particular cell. And all of these, you can see this is coming from A4, is from here. Similar thing to what I showed you before with the dates. I've selected the day here and I've gone into format, number, more formats, more date and time formats. And I've added in, I wanted day, I selected Tuesday, and then I put a space, and then I did day as well, and I've got 5. Okay, you could have 0, 5, and then you do apply, and then it will be beautiful like this. I did not have to manually type in the days of the week. It's all done for me. And I absolutely know they're correct because it's coming from a literal calendar. So each of these is sourced from there, which is really helpful. And when I come around to having a new school year, they'll change super easy, and I'm very excited about that part. I have a rotating schedule. I have week A and week B, and even the process of going through and colouring the individual boxes was very tedious and annoying, but I liked the colours, so I did it anyway. But I've got lots of things on my schedule, and this is how all of the classes can go in automatically without me having to add them. So I like having my class names sit underneath the period number. So say I've got year 7, I've got 7 must 1, and then say period 2, I've got 7 must 2. So I'm going to quickly pop in a schedule for both weeks, what it would look like. So as you can see, I've gone through and put in my actual timetable. This is one thing you do have to do manually, but it ends up being quite quick. And once you've done it once, you can then copy and paste it into the following terms. So as you can see, I've got stuff before school, I've got stuff after school, I've got things on at lunch, and I've got all these different classes. So as you can see, all of the data from here has infilled into the correct schedule. Something to note is whatever week you're starting on, so week A or week B for that term, you have to put whatever one you're starting with in the week A section. So even if you're starting with week B that term, you have to put it in the week A section, or otherwise these will all be wrong. So now that we've got our automatic classes infilled, all of our events are in there, I'm then going to show you one of my favorite things that I've ever discovered on Google Sheets, and it is conditional formatting. Doesn't that sound so nerdy? Either way, Now with conditional formatting, the annoying thing is there is no way to apply conditional formatting to an entire document, which is the bane of my existence. However, I found ways around this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be color coding particular classes on my schedule, and I'm also going to do it so that the computer does it for me once I've done it once. So the first thing is we're going to use these things called macros, where basically it records every single move you make on your screen, every action you do, and it records it, and then you can just basically run the macro on a different sheet and it'll do it for you. I'm going to select the whole sheet. I'm going to go into Format, Conditional Formatting, and this is where the magic happens. You see I've gone into Format Rules, Format Cells if text contains, and I'm going to put my class name, so I'm going to start with 7mus9, and I'm going to change the color of it. I'm going to make it this nice color, and then I click Done. And you can see 7mus9 there automatically changed to blue. This is so satisfying to me, you have no idea. I'm now going to speed through and do all my other colors that I usually do so you can see how it works. So as you can see, I've just done a whole bunch of clicks, like so many clicks right there. And now I can save the macro and I can say colors, let's call it colors. And we can save that. So now this is the exciting part. So now I can go into this page which has no pretty colors whatsoever. How disappointing. I'm going to make sure I'm selecting everything, macros, colors, and watch this script run its magic. So depending on the speed of your internet, this will be faster or slower, but this actually is very easy to do. You just click one button and you wait for it to chug along. So if you suddenly decide, you know, I'm not feeling these colors, you're going to have to record another macro so you don't have to spend your time going and manually deleting all of these, but basically select all so that all of the conditional formatting is selected, record macro, and then you're going to have to go into Format, Conditional Formatting, and you've got all of your rules here, and then you're going to have to go and manually delete each of them, save. So that way every other time you need to delete formatting, say here for instance, go up to your tools, delete formatting, off it goes, getting rid of your pretty colors. There's also one more trick you can use in regards to conditional formatting, and that is that you can copy and paste conditional formatting. So depending on the situation, you might want to use macros, you might want to use copy and paste. Now that I've got my conditional formatting back, what I can do is copy the whole sheet, and then I'm going to go into my other sheet. So I can copy this, and when I go to my other sheet, I have it all selected, but I'm going to go Edit, Paste Special, Paste Conditional Formatting Only. So hopefully it should run through now and paste all of my conditional formatting without changing the text within the box. Either way works really well, and it's really up to you which method you want to use. As you can see on my weekly spread, I have a to-do list here which you can then tick off. These boxes were created in here. You can do a little tick box and then it adds itself in there and you can tick it. You cannot actually have other text within this box, so that's why I have a column up here that's very small that is specifically for ticking a box. Now that's the majority of my tricks. But there's a couple of things that I personally didn't know about that I'm glad I now know about to speed up the process of adding data to your different informational slides in here. So for instance, my staff phone list. For example, we have our staff phone list on a website and it is a table, but it's not sorted in the way I would want. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I've got an example version on this page here. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy and paste all the text from that. And I'm just going to do a random sheet on the side because the problem I have with how it's presented currently is that it has the surname and the first name in the same thing. And I want them in separate ones because maybe I want to sort it by first name or last name. So what I'm going to do here is I've got the surnames all here. You see Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton. I'm going to just cut and paste these over one. I'm going to use the thing called split text to columns. It has an automatic one. You can see it automatically realized what I wanted to do. However, you can sort it by comma, if there's a semicolon or a full stop or a space, or you can type something so after the letter D, and you see it changes it. So it just depends on what data you're trying to change. But let's just go with the comma. It gets rid of the comma for you. You don't need to go and delete them. And then as you can see here on my staff phone list, I've got the phone number on the side and then that person's position within the school first. So that's just an easy copy and paste job, really. You just shuffle these along there. Now, in terms of copy and pasting data that does not look the way you want it to look, just do a normal copy. And when you get to here, this is where you want to make sure when you paste, you just do paste values only. So now some of the formatting went a little bit astray. However, we just have to press center and we're good. If I were to paste regularly, it will show up like that and it'll look gross, and then you'll have to go through and manually fix everything. And then you've got your nice phone list, easy peasy. There are a couple of small things that I thought I might mention. The first thing is the grid lines. As you can see, I've hidden them so it looks more aesthetically pleasing, but it's just up in view under grid lines. Sometimes you might want to see them, like in these pages. However, a lot of the time I don't want to see all of the grid lines, only the ones that I actually add borders to. In fonts, you can always find more fonts through Google. They've got lots to choose from. You can search for different types of fonts. So I like handwriting, so you can just add those and that way your fonts are nice. In terms of sorting things consistently, lots of people change their column width by just clicking and dragging, which is an option. However, if you want things to be consistent, you can highlight multiple columns and then resize them so that they are all the same size. You can do the same with rows. You can also make it change as it fits to the data, so it will grow depending on how much text is within the cell. And another thing to remember is in boxes like this, I have text wrapping. I think that's everything I would like to show you with my planner. But I hope this helps out anyone who's thinking of creating a digital planner themselves. It's a really great option. It takes a little bit of time to start with, but once you've created it, you're good for the future because the updates you'll have to make are going to take so little time compared to doing one in a different program. I hope you found this video informative and helpful. I've really enjoyed finding little tricks to automate things to make things go faster. And I know that some of you out there will appreciate these little spreadsheet tricks, because teachers don't have a lot of time and the faster you can get stuff done, the better. Please subscribe to my channel and click the like button if you enjoyed this video. The links to my Teachers Pay Teachers and my teaching Instagram are linked below, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Thanks.